Okay, good morning everyone. I'm on my usual walk in the morning with my babies, and we do that every morning when it's sunny and nice, the weather. They're sleeping right here. There's this guy, and there's this girl, and here's the bamboo forest behind me, next to me. There's some abandoned fields and cemeteries on this side. But yeah, so today I wanted to talk about how those two came about. They are as precious as they can be, and it was surely a shock to know that after 3 kids I would have them. And from the beginning I knew it's gonna be different because they were, first of all, two. I was full-time working, just started a new school year. In fact, in Japan they start in April, so that's what it was. For the first month before I knew that I was expecting them, I was running and jumping with the kids, elementary school kids, all over the place during recess, after lunch. So yeah, they survived that. But it was my birthday when I did the test, and it was always my dream actually to surprise my husband for his birthday and just show him the test. That was like, so that means I was hoping for another one, maybe a fourth one, but just one, so we can be even in this family. But it wasn't my birthday. I did the test and it was positive, so I was like, happy birthday to me. I remember saying that. And from then on became the huge adventure. I'm not really good with words, sorry, not eloquent with speaking. I love to write and read and listen to smart people like TED Talks or anything like smart and inspiring. So the hospital I gave birth to the first 3 boys told me that they don't deal with twins. So I had to go to a different city. I was like, 40 minutes away with a car from us, and they check mothers of multiple pregnancy with only on Tuesday afternoons for whatever reason. So I guess there are not many of us who do that. So every other Tuesday I had to go there, because with twins you had to check not once a month but like twice a month, just to make sure everything's okay. And sure enough, there was like with the little girl, they found some what did they find, like some extra water in her abdominal area. So he was worried, and he was just telling me the reason. He was listing the reason, the doctor, what could it be. It could be like, he prepared me literally for everything, like Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, what else, some kind of virus that entered her through me, I don't know. So I was ready. I was like, whatever happens, I love my girl no matter what. She's my girl. She's my only girl, so I will love her anyway. So that time he told me that he checked me every week, so I had to go through that and excuse myself from work, which meant that I had to actually, what is it called? I had to squish all my classes in the morning with all the children, so the afternoon is free, so I could excuse myself from school and go. That was tough. I remember singing head, shoulders, and toes with first graders 2 times, and because 2 classes, and with second grade as well, we sang some other like action words songs. And then the teachers, they were usually female teachers, they were like, wow, you can do that by being pregnant. And I'm like, yeah, I like yoga, hiking, like things like that kept me throughout the years so far good in shape physically. So that's that. Turned out she was okay. Everything disappeared and she went back to normal, but she didn't. She turned with the head downward and she turned back upward and decided to stay like that till the end. So the doctor declared it will be a cesarean no matter what. I was like, no, you don't understand. I will do all the stuff I have to do. I'll do like poses, and I will turn myself upside down. I would just hang in the air. I would do anything, yoga, I would do anything so that baby can turn. He's like, well, you go do those things, but I think it will be cesarean because they're two and it's not safe. So I went home and I cried because I'm terrified of being cut. I've never been cut in my life. I think once, but I was one. I don't remember anything. My mom told me. I don't remember any of it. But anyway, so I was terrified because 2 babies are coming out and I have to recover from C-section. That's gonna be a horrible experience. Like, I cannot be jumping all over the place around them and, you know, not as efficient as if I just give natural birth. So I believe in natural birth no matter what. I did my research, I studied, I went on YouTube, like most of you guys that probably had cesarean. I listened to all ladies that I could find on YouTube and their experience in the States usually. And I was like crying. I found myself sitting on the couch crying when I stopped working. Funny, last October 31st was my last day of work. And they were doing January 18th or something. But from work, you know, they let you finish a little bit earlier, a longer time before the due date because it's multiple, right? It's twins, so it's hard to move even. Trust me, it's hard to move. But anyways, no, Sleeping Beauties are fine. Then some ladies suggested that I should go and ask the doctor what is the percentage of natural birth with twins in that particular hospital, or like, are they more turned towards cesarean all the time, or like do they have a specialist who actually are ready to twist and turn little babies inside of your womb and, like, I don't know, put their whole hand there and turn the baby somehow so you don't have to be cut open? I don't know. So I asked him that question and he said 50-50. It's 50% natural and 50% cesarean. But those 50% that are natural, some of them end up with emergency C-section because it gets complicated during the push and the baby's getting distressed or whatever, and so you have to rush the lady into the operation room. And so he said I guess he didn't really want to deal with that. So, and plus my girl was still with the legs down. Like, I was so surprised. I thought her one of her legs is gonna just stick out anytime if my water breaks. So anyways, that's that. And so they scheduled me. I was scheduled with cesarean. I fought. I was not happy. I cried. I did more research. I did what I had to do at home with, you know, coming down from the couch on the floor, like with your tummy hanging upside down, and in the bathtub I was turning, twisting, and nothing worked. She just said, like, because I think it's because her brother upstairs in my tummy was pretty big guy. He was the bigger one. He's the bigger one anyways, because he's a guy, I guess. I don't know. So she's mini, but he was on top of her, so I don't think she had much space or opportunity to turn around. But it was January 7th. It was a Tuesday, I think. Yeah, because I didn't want it to be like rushing on Monday. No, we just did it on Tuesday, and they admitted me on Monday evening. I went there and I ate dinner there, which was included, and then they put me in a room where you have to pay like what, $100 a night, which is a lot for, but it was like private room and enough space for 2 little kind of like baby beds on wheels that also can include underneath like all the diapers and the wipes and all the machines that beep for them and everything. It just includes everything, like a little, how do you call it, like a little crib thingy. So you could fit 2 of them in that room, and there was a couch and TV and fridge and private bathroom, which was really nice. But I didn't bother anything about fridges or TVs or anything like that, because trust me, yeah, the next morning I go in the operating room, and for the first time in my life I'm like, that's an operation. It was so cold inside, and I was with this little thin gown, and I noticed that it was him there, but like a whole bunch of other people started coming from like side doors and anything. I don't know. So they started putting the anesthesia in the backbone. Like they asked me to turn like a shrimp. They said you have to turn like a shrimp and squeeze. And but I'm like, but my tummy is so big and it hurts. Like I cannot smash the babies. But I guess they had to feel the backbone segments and do it right. So I did. I turned and I started crying because it hurt, because he poked me a few times. And I hate needles, you guys. I am terrified of needles. That's like my biggest fear. Like since I was an elementary school kid, every time they did shots at school, I would, with another girl, I think, we ran. We were the last on the line, and when it was our turn, we just ran. And so the nurse was like, I'm gonna tell your mom, because my mom was a dentist, so it's like, you know, medical worker to medical worker, they knew each other. So she was like, I'm gonna tell your mom, and I was like, oh. Then I cried when they poked me every time. That's just my fear. Needles, knives, anything that is like blood drawing thing is just, don't ask me how they always took blood out of me every time when I was pregnant. Don't ask me. They always thought I was fainting because I would get like white. And it started, like one lady once smacked my face one time because she thought, that's in Japan, she thought I was about to faint. I'm like, I'm fine, I just don't want to. And I never look when they do it. I never look how my blood is getting into this little tube. I don't look at it anyway. So the anesthesiologists put that, whatever they put. Keep in mind, I had no idea what they were doing. I knew, and I told them I don't want epidural. Well, at that point, they don't really care because it's an operation. So it was not an epidural, guys. It was a catheter that they insert. It's like a tube they insert into your bone. And there's like a really thin tube, little cable looking tube that goes into a machine that is in a black case, and that machine has a battery or something, and it and a button that when you push the button later on after operation, it always inserts a certain amount of painkiller into your body. But like if it hurts really a lot, you can actually push the button and it gets more painkiller, so you kind of can relax a little bit. So I didn't know that thing was in my back until they came on the 6th day to take it off. But they put like a curtain between me and my belly, like a towel looking thingy, and they did put my hands like cross, and then just tape them somehow there, so I don't use my hands. But I didn't have any intentions to do that anyways. But so I started crying. So it was just fear and confusion and like anger from my letting that happen to me. And like, but then I was thinking, no, this is the baby's safety is first. So that's that. And now one of the nurses saw me crying. She was like, my tears were like piling on my nose and sideways, and so she grabbed my hand, one of my hands, and I just grabbed her hand because they're in operation room. We cannot have husbands there. And so she was holding my hand the entire time, and I was squeezing her really hard. I hope she was okay afterwards. She told me she was okay, but she was happy to be there and do that, she said later. But I noticed there was a lot of people, and there was a screen on the wall that I could see. Actually, they put a towel between me and my tummy, so I don't see what he's doing there. But like I could see next to me on a huge TV screen what was going on, and I didn't look. I didn't want to look because I guess it's for the students that were there. I'm pretty sure they were like people in practice or still like getting there and like, yay, there's a Caucasian lady, some Japanese, let's go and see how she's gonna do it, how they're gonna do it to her. And so I just saw at one point one of the placentas where they were pulling it out, and I didn't feel a thing. Like they asked me, do you feel the cold towel on you? I'm like, yeah, and then it was like, no. And so he was like, hajimemashou, let's start. So they started, and before I knew it, they were out like 1 minute apart. They showed me my girl first, and she was like really cute, squishy, like the color was, I don't even remember much, but she was really white and beautiful and slimy, and they had to go and wipe her, and they just showed me the baby. They didn't give it to me right away. And then they showed me my baby boy. He was much bigger than her. I was like, wow, that's amazing. So I could hear them in a different room in the back somewhere, wiping them and washing them and weighing them and measuring them. And then the doctor was doing the sewing part, I suppose. It was not like really sewing me. It was some kind of, he explained to me like a glue, but I don't know how it was the inside layers, how they connected them back together. I don't know, but he said on the outside it's gonna be just like a glue looking thingy. And so they put a tape on it, and then towards the end they take the tape out, and if they need to, if there's still any leakages or infections, he would put more tape or whatever. But it was fine. It was just great. He did a good job on that. I just didn't have good feeling towards him, because I don't know, his whole attitude was like, well, you suck it up and deal with it, like that's what we do in Japan. It's that kind of thing. So I was done with him from the beginning. And he had this really weird nail on his pinky with the hand that he checks the tummy on the ultrasounds, and he just pushed that nail in my stomach so hard, and I was like, it hurts. And what is this? It's something hurts. And he was like, oh, that's my nail. And like with pride, I'm like, all right, carry on, I'll suck it up like I do all the time here with everything that I don't agree with and don't understand. So that's that. And after that they rushed me really fast. I don't know why, but they rushed me really fast towards my room with like different some kind of back corridors that people don't have access, like normal visitors don't go to. There's like a whole back of hallways and that only doctors and nurses have access to. It makes sense, it's just really private thing. But I remember before that though, while the nurse was holding my hand and I was like with my eyes a little bit open so I don't see the screen, there was like blood just started splashing out of me and splashed on our arms, on her hand and my arm. And so I could feel or sense that they kind of got panicked a little bit. They didn't expect whatever happened to happen. So I don't know what happened. Nobody told me anything, of course. So I was kind of like, ooh, there's my blood. It was like so dark and thick and just sitting there on my arm. So she wiped it real quick, and she had kind of like sweat on her face. Even behind the mask, I could see it. But I was like, whatever happens, man, my babies are fine, they're out. So that was like, wow, he was sewing me or whatever. Anyways, I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna tell you, my recovery was nothing like what people usually normally experience, like ladies, because it was very painful, like abnormally painful. And I did use a lot of that button to push for the painkiller to come in, but I also was not 29. I was 38 at that time, 39. No, I just turned 39 afterwards, so I was 38. So yeah, it's not like when you're 20 something you just jump on your feet right after. He comes on the second day, on the next day, he's like, tomorrow you get up and you go. And I was like, looking at that doctor, I was like, no, that's not gonna happen, I can't. So I was for 3 days on the bed. So that day of the surgery, which was like at lunchtime is when the babies came, and the next day and the next day, and I think after that I attempted to get up. All that time I was like on my bed, and because you're not moving, just only the upper body can go up and down with the button, the bed. That was the only thing I could do. They had this machine that pushes your feet. It pushes them like they're cushions, and they push and pulse. So the blood in your feet can keep going towards up and down the leg. I don't know, that was a really cool thing. It was kind of annoying, the sound, but it was really also cool, like something soft is pushing your feet on the bottom of it, and it just felt really good. And I guess that's how they keep you going. One time they gave me like a bath kind of with wet warm towels. It felt really good afterwards. And so I was like completely incapable of doing anything. And then when I got up, that was so much pain. I thought I had hardships in my life before, but this was something I would never think I would experience ever. And it felt like so lonely feeling, because everybody who visits and stays with me, like husband, mother-in-law, a friend that came up with her son, that was his student before, his teacher before. It's just like everybody comes, but like they don't know how exactly feel at that moment. It's like very lonely experience. Like they studied about it. Some of them maybe had it before in their lives, but it's just at that moment I felt, I don't know, I never knew a mother who gave birth to twins with a C-section before. I never met one. I don't think I have a friend like that. I don't know, at least not that I could talk to at that moment. So it felt really lonely experience, and nobody could understand how much it hurts. And then I'm not a person that can hide pain. So, and I think the second worst after that was when on the 6th day, the anesthesiologist team came, and there were 2 guys and a lady, I think. And then one of those guys just started, so the catheter was attached with like lots of tape looking thingy, and so they had to disattach, and so he just took everything out like in one movement. And I was not prepared for that. Nobody explained it to me in English or in Japanese or in any language. Like my mom-in-law was there always to translate for me. So like she slept there on the couch with me. Like it was not comfortable probably at all. But so I just wanted to smack him on the face, even though I was like smiling but in a shock. And I was like, what just happened? And that's when I knew that thing was still there, because I knew there was like painkiller coming into me, but I never really thought how that happens. And I just saw the IV tube, but there was like another tube, and I didn't know where that tube was going behind me. So yeah, that was hard. And after that, I realized that I cannot really get up on my own, and the bed was helping me by pushing my body up and down with the remote control. But then I figured at home I don't have that kind of bed. We usually sleep on futons down on the floor, on the tatami floor, but like the kids have beds. We got them bunk beds before the twins came, so I could be on the floor on the futon with them. But then we decided I will be on the bed so I can get up easier while I'm healing from the C-section, and they could be both in a big crib. They were still tiny, so they could fit both together. So we did that. And then I remember going home, every uneven part of the road, and keep in mind the roads in Japan are pretty good. They're really good. That's why taxes are so high. Parks are awesome. The roads are awesome, except like those. I mean, they're still good, like compared to where I'm from, Bulgaria. Like this is really nice. Anyway, so every bump I felt, I was screaming in the car. It was so painful for that cut down there. It was just really, really uncomfortable feeling, and I was hoping the car doesn't hit another red light and we just go home. And I just didn't want to move much. And they were those sweet little cuties that just cry when they're hungry, and that's it. Even with changing diapers, they were fine, and we had to change their diapers often. But it was really cute. It was they are perfect. Those 2 babies are perfect in every way. They learn routines so fast. They are my biggest blessing in this world. Seriously, they're just so great. And so I just had to focus on the healing part. And so I remember going home and lie down on the bed next to the crib, and they were sleeping on the crib, and you know, father and boys are in the kitchen / living room, and they like just let us rest. So the babies got fuzzy, like one of them got fuzzy, so I just wanted to get up, and so I was like lying down horizontally on my side actually, and I tried to get up and I couldn't get up at all. So I turned and twisted, and like I put my legs down, but I couldn't lift my upper body at all. Like, I don't know, it was because muscles were not working, or because those the catheter in my backbone messed up my nerves. I don't know what it was, but I couldn't get up at all. So I started crying, and I remember my youngest from the other 3 boys coming to check on us, and I was crying, and I was like asking him for help, and then the father came and he kind of lifted me up, and I was like, I cannot get up. So we had to put like futons that are folded into S kind of shape, and I had to put them up. So I was sleeping sitting up. I couldn't assist my babies and nurse them during the night, and anytime really. Time really doesn't becomes relevant when you have babies, 2 of them newborns. It just, you don't know if it's day, if it's night, doesn't really matter, because they were more like sleeping during the whole entire day and then just keeping me up all night. So I was like, that was my schedule too. We slept all day, and that's what it was. But that didn't disappear, like that pain. I was like, okay, so I have to figure out, why do I hurt so bad? It's not like I completely abandoned my body. Like, up until the end, I was going to the mall or like going shopping. It was really hard to walk with them in my tummy, but like I was keeping my body up and about, and I just didn't believe that it was my muscles. So I was convinced that it was the pain tube that was in my back for so long, and maybe it caught a nerve or something, I don't know. Afterwards, maybe it was 3 months later, I went back to the hospital, and they did the MRI. That was my first time to go in that tube. They didn't find anything with my backbone. Like, the segments were like, I did research on that too. What was it called? Like, they had numbers, and the doctor said everything is fine with your backbones. And because his English was poor, my Japanese is non-existent in terminology of medical terms, anything. So he just kept saying, what was he saying? It was something like maybe the painkiller. What was the word? I forgot. It was like too much excitement, or like too much. Maybe he meant something like it was that area is a bit bruised, maybe, or the nerves are bruised, and I don't know, but because of the 6 days staying in your body kind of thing. So the bones were good, so that was good news for me. But then I started doing workout at home while in the morning they would feed, and then they would sleep, and while they're falling asleep, I'm jumping up and down on the tatami floor next to them, doing T25 with the T-Shon thing. So that was really fun, actually. It was so painful. I can't tell you guys, but before the T25, me and the boys decided to spend time together and bond. In the mornings we would go and jog, and at first I felt really okay, and then we did it for, I think, 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, and towards the end it hurt so bad. My hip bones hurt so bad that I couldn't even make another step. So we would be like up in the mountain next to a shrine, and we'll be talking, and I'll be like, guys, I just have to stop a little bit because I cannot really make another step. It hurts like heck. So they would stop with me, and then I'll be like, yeah, that's it. I don't think I can do it anymore. Anyway, so it took me months. I think it still hurts. It's still I think now is the muscles more of the back, because babies, 2 of them, one very heavy. But I couldn't be on a futon completely horizontal up until like last month. Last month I tried to. There were nights, guys, where I would need to go to the bathroom while they were sleeping. After feeding them and changing diaper, I go to the bathroom, and it took me 10 minutes at least to slowly turn, use my arms. But you cannot really use your arms because they're attached to the back and everything hurts there. It's crazy. And so I had to turn towards my side and lift. And while I'm lifting, just trying not to scream and bite my lips so I don't scream and the babies wake up. It was like that. And then you get up like in a sitting position, but then you have to get the whole body up. And that was very painful. And slowly start walking towards the bathroom. But then I noticed like that happened only when I'm down. When I'm up, once I'm up in the morning, I could do my chores. I could lift babies. I could do anything. I'm pretty strong. And I didn't understand why when I'm lying down, I cannot get up. But then once I'm up, I'm totally fine. Everything is fine. And even if I decide to lie down a little bit during the day with them, I could get up. It's painful, but not that. I could do it. But then at night, so I was like, if I don't move my body for a long time, something happens to the muscles. Even if I don't move them, they start hurting really bad. So I thought it was either a nervous pinch, so creates that whole tension everywhere, or I don't know. To this day, I don't know. I never had the time to go to chiropractor. Went to one and got really discouraged because the guy was giving me a 45-minute lecture how his method works and how and I had to pay him, for all that stuff, and he didn't do much on my body. So I decided that's it. Didn't go to another one because it was hard. Coronavirus, small babies, how do you leave them like that? Everybody's with their own schedule, so I'm the only caregiver, the main one. So yeah, that's that. But other than that, I can tell now it's getting better. I got a new futon that is a bit harder and a little bit thicker and higher, so that helps me a lot now. And yeah, I just keep my body moving all the time. Me and the babies are always up and about. They sleep, of course, and we just go around the neighborhood with all the fields. I know who's harvesting their rice, who is not, what is the next thing that they plant in the same field. After that is the broccoli and the lettuce and all the green stuff, and after that in the spring is the onions. And it's just like that. They rotate the same chunk of land. They do that. And then after the onions is the rice again. And so that's that. Thanks for listening to me. And next time I'll probably talk to you about twins and how they develop in such a different pace, because one is a girl and one is a boy. Yay for girls. I love boys. I have only boys so far. This is my only girl, but she is smart. Okay, next time. See ya.